Hello, Peter and Dasha. It's really nice to see you today in our online lecture with my master students. And as I informed students before today, also we continue our online virtual traveling into different countries and to know more about education system in particular country and in context of some innovations possible and technologies, etc., as you know already. And today we have two colleagues from Comenius University in Bratislava, in Lithuanian language Comenius Vincentas. Professor Peter Demkanin, he is head of division of physics education at Comenius University in Bratislava, and if I understood well, Master of Education and currently PhD student at this university, Daša Červeňová, if I pronounced well. Okay, we have approximately 1.5 hours, and your presentation, possible some questions, some answers at the end, let's say 10-15 minutes, or maybe more, maybe a little bit less. We will see, depending on progress. Okay, Peter, can you start?
Yeah, thanks for invitation. It's proud of us. We are proud to be invited to your country, and it's also nice that we can communicate in this way via MS Teams. We hope in the near future will go also to Lithuania, at least Daša. I'm not very for traveling, but your professor Vincentas has been more times in Slovakia, also in my country, my university, even in my office. So we are now in my office at Comenius University, and we try to say something. We hope it will be in a sort of interest for you. I'm sure that the education system in Slovakia is not perfect, but maybe it's little bit close to your system. You will see, you can compare, and we'll be happy if you will give a sort of feedback just during this presentation, or even later anytime by email or by a short call. In any way, it's nice to cooperate among our countries, and so this short presentation should could maybe start long time communication, at least as long as we have with your Professor Vincentas. I think we cooperate, hard to say, but some decades already. It's not 10 years, maybe more than 20 years. So it's good. And also, as been told, Daša is young starting PhD student, and she's also interested in your education system, especially in science, and completely especially in physics education, but we'll use some examples from physics education, but you can take it also as science education, and maybe some of you is not focused to science education but to other subjects, so I hope you will be inspired also in this way. So let's start the presentation. I hope you see. Not I should start this one and this one, and yeah, it should be okay. So your subject is probably education system innovation and technologies, and our presentation is in this order. in similar order, we'll start in education system in Slovakia, then about innovation, a little bit about research, and in 60 minutes we plan to say something about technologies, and it will be focused to science, to a technology one, not one, but one system of technologies we use in science education. So here should be, and here, yeah, perfect. So education system in Slovakia and Bratislava. This is our faculty. We are just here now. Yes, you see also my mouse. Okay, so and you are invited to my faculty, to Comenius University, anytime you will go around, or maybe you can plan a visit on probably also a longer stay if you will be interested in physics, mathematics, or informatics education just directly in this faculty, or other subjects at other faculties of my university. So you are at Lithuania, where we are. Just check if you know where we are. Yeah, so we are in Slovakia. Quite often people take Slovenia or Serbia as a similar sound. Similarly, in my country, it's sometimes hard to say if Lithuania or Latvia. So we are in Lithuania, I hope, I'm sure so, and we are in Slovakia, Bratislava now. So education system. Education system, some sort of official sentences. Pre-primary education, as everywhere in most of countries, probably every country, at the age of 4 years. Yes, yes, place for any child, for every child should be from the age of 4, and compulsory from the age of 5. Usually, young children start pre-primary education at the age of 4, at the age of 3. Very rarely, and only at private kindergartens, they can start at the age of 2. But at the age of 3 is okay. Every child at the age of 4 should have a possibility to be in kindergarten, and every child from the age of 5 is compulsory. Then compulsory school attendance is between the age of 6 and 16. So compulsory kindergarten from the age of 5, and compulsory school from the age of 6. Most of students continue also after the age of 16. This is clear. Okay. Okay. The education system is hard to present in PowerPoint, so I switched to Eurydice, and if you would like to know more about details, some details are here, and probably most discussed is the structure of our of the education system, of the curriculum, of the content to be taught or to be learned. So I'm working in the physics especially. This is number of hours per week at the grade 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is primary education, 4 years, and lower secondary education from 5 to from the 5th grade to the 8th grade, and this is number of lessons per week, 45 minutes lessons per week. Science education is called in our country like people and nature, man and nature. The meaning of man is quite different in Slovakia language, not like men and women, but man is like one of many people. So something in this way. Also, language is compulsory. Language in Slovakian and English. English is compulsory, and it is also possible to teach other language. So English is compulsory. So Slovak is compulsory, and the third language is very usual. Yes, the science, man and society. So history, geography, civics, and men and values, so ethics or religious education. Something was wrong, probably. No, I hope you see this presentation still. Okay. And yeah, okay. And every student, every pupil should teach ethics or religious education. Some schools offer both, but only some schools. Mathematics, this is number of lessons per week of mathematics. Information science is called. There is 1 year of sort of programming, but mainly it is general information science informatics. Man and the world of work, technology. Here are 1 lesson per week of technology. Also music, also art, like painting, not visual art usually, and physical and sport education. Okay, so let's go to back here. And these are number of hours just in lump sum for 4-year study at higher secondary education, general higher secondary education, where science is 16 lessons per week together for 4 years, and similarly other subjects. If you will have questions, just no problem to send question by chat or in any way, or even after this presentation, anytime in 1 week, in 2 weeks, in 1 year, probably no problem to write me. Just make some statements where you are from this presentation, from this lesson. No problem to ask any question. So please now you just think about 3 things you find interesting in this presentation. Try to think about 2 things is relevant for your work, and hopefully you will find at least 1 information you will use or you will study deeper in your work. We hope its presentation is interesting for you, at least a little bit. Okay, so Daša.
So now I will shortly present the school, first private grammar school in Bratislava, which is a private school, but it closely works with Ministry of Education in Slovakia, and it helps Ministry of Education to develop curricula as well. So this first private grammar school is divided into primary and lower secondary school, which is for gifted pupils for age 6 to 15 years. And also it has a grammar school with 4 years program and also with 8 years program. When creating a school, they set objectives such as promoting lifelong learning and enjoying learning, supporting development of pupils' talents, evolving relationships and team spirit, and also collaborating with foreign partner schools, which they try to fulfill every day. For example, they closely collaborate with foreign schools in form of exchanges, also with pupils and teachers as well. Teachers in kind of shop shadowing. You can come to school and just see how this school works. And also they have like 4 hours per week of lab work in science education in age of 11 to 15. When setting those objectives, they defined key competencies that they want students to acquire, such as think critically or inquire or argue. So when acquiring those key competencies, the pupils are supposed to obtain also skills like, for example, be able to solve a wide range of problems, or to easily adapt to changes in work, society, and personal life. Each of these competencies are they go beyond individual school subject and can be developed through any learning content. Therefore, they included these teaching methods such as project-based learning, where they integrate several topics, or experiential learning such as games and stimulations. Also, group works with open-ended tasks or discussions with experts and more. So now on, I will present the project-based learning, which is one of those methods. So requirements for this method or this kind of learning is that pupils, 3 or 4 pupils, form a group, and this group selects a topic which has to integrate at least 2 school subjects, and they have to have at least 2 internal consultants for these school subjects, and at higher levels they have to have also external consultants. So there's a scheme about how they work on these projects throughout the school year and also holidays. So at the end of the one school year in June, they select the topic. So the job here is to find classmates that want to work with you on a topic, and you either know the topic or you find a group and then discuss the topic. And if you are interested in the same topic, then it's perfect. If not, then you have to try to integrate all your interests in one topic, and that could be easily done since it has to be at least 2 or more school subjects. So when they select the topic, they have to define goals of the project, and also they have to find consultants from the school. So they present the project design for consultants, and if consultants are okay with the project, then they will accept the invitation to work on the project. They continue on studying the topic from June to September. So throughout the holidays, they are supposed to study this subject, review the literature, and then try to synthesize the literature. And if it requires some experiments, they are supposed to start conducting those experiments in August and September. Since the first submission deadline for first submission of draft is in September, so they submit the first draft. Each consultant has to write a review, and then they have another deadline, and that deadline is for the result of the project. It is in October. In October, after submitting it, they prepare presentations, and then they present the project with the committee. There's a committee of consultants, and also could be other teachers or professionals within the topics. And also anyone can come to the presentation, classmates, other pupils from other classes, and also some external people who want to see the project. So the difference in this school is also in assessment. The assessment in a school is 100% of a grade is assessed in December to January, which is usually a 2 or 3 hour long test, which is like 8 pages long test that they write in a form of some state exam. In the form of organization of a test is similar to the state exam, but it is not the same test. For first and second year of high school physics course, usually for the first term, it is usually 100% of a grade is a test, and the second term is 80% of a test is 80% of a grade is a test, and 20% of a grade is lab work. And for the third year of high school physics course is for the first time it's 100% of tests, or if the topic they selected on project-based learning is something integrating physics, they could decide that the 20% of a grade will be assessed from project-based learning. And for the second term, they have 80% of a test and 20% of lab work. So the 100% of a grade is required for every subject. It has to be in a form of a test at the end of the term. But throughout the term, they can collect additional 15%, which could help them get better mark. So this 15%, what is required for each subject and every teacher is that they have to have 2 midterms, which are usually each for 5%. So you can get 10% from midterms, and optional if pupils decide that their project is from physics, for example, then they can get up to 15% from the project-based learning for first and second year, but only in the first term. And then other additional percentage could be given to pupils dependent on teacher and subject. So, for example, for physics, you can get 3 to 5% from homeworks, then some short exams, lab work protocols, or extracurriculum activities such as International Young Physicists Tournament. And if you add up those numbers, then you can see that pupils can collect more than 15%, but maximum that is assigned to them is those 15%. So with project-based learning and assessment, differences in assessment, there's a difference in organization in school year in this school. So the teaching learning period is usually from September to December, and that means that we have normal classes like doing some experiments, talking about the results of experiments and such on. But from December to January, there's those testing period where pupils have 3 hours long tests. To assess additional 15%, it has to be done in those 3 months, September, October, November. And project-based learning takes some hours from September, October, June, and during some holidays they are supposed to work on projects, but not the whole months of project-based learning. Is usually 3 hours of project-based learning in physics. Midterms are usually somewhere between October, November, or in second term, March and April, and second midterm in November, December, or April, May. So now you can think of, again, some 3 things that you find interesting, 2 things that might be relevant for your work, and hopefully 1 thing that you will use or you will study deeper.
Okay, maybe each of you has decided what was interesting for you. Maybe I can continue what was interesting for me. For me, it's quite interesting what was not fully clearly said that in Slovakia, especially in higher secondary education, is quite wide freedom of schools. There are some rules, but the rules are quite not detailed, and even the general higher secondary education, the schools has quite high freedom. This was example of one private school, but the private school which is trying to be academically better, and also this private school is cooperating with the Ministry of Education on development of the rules and national curriculum. Maybe relevant for me also is the assessment told here. We discuss in Slovakia quite often about differences between summative and formative assessment. And this school, first gymnasium in Bratislava, first private gymnasium in Bratislava, is quite special in the way that the pupils are not summatively assessed and every one lesson, which offer for the pupils to be very open and discuss also no problem to say something which is not fully true or not fully normative answer, not fully answer in the way they think the teacher would like to hear. So summative assessment is in December, January for winter term, and September, October, November is just open discussion, learning, teaching, and so on.
If possible, one question,
Yeah?
because I found many interesting things. Is it common for other schools or just for this particular private school?
Sorry, what's common? Like the assessment or?
Yeah, let's say assessment, for example.
I would say that assessment is kind of specialty of a school. It is not quite normal. Usually in other schools you would get grades or marks for each work you've done. In this school you get those percentage, and usually I write comments like you could do this better, you could do that better, next time you try to do this better. So it's really of a formative assessment throughout September, October, November, and then summative in December. And this is something that differentiates this school from other schools.
Yes, we are trying to debunk the myth of external motivation and the way of how to teacher can externally motivate students, but giving them every 10 minutes red and black points, or small or big excellent or small or big something like failed information. So this school is quite special in the way we would like to have every school, but in especially in older teacher and in the smaller schools, but especially older teachers try to still use the grades or the summative feedback to the pupils as sort of external motivation, but I think we know, or we are close to the knowledge that it doesn't work now. But did we answer, Vincentas, your question?
Yes, but okay, let's continue, and possible we will answer now one question from our student. Possible it's related to
So I see the question how students feel about doing a project during the summer. So usually the project-based learning is developed through the year. So if they start the school at primary education, they have like classes projects. So the whole class works on the project. And further as they develop in the school, at the 8th grade or 9th grade, they go to see those projects, and they are happening in the first class first year of 4 years of higher secondary education. They go to see those presentations, and they are kind of motivated, like, I want to do that. And usually what I encountered was that they are motivated to do their best. So usually they kind of are pupils that work throughout the summer and enjoy it because they enjoy the topic. If they select it, good. If they did not, they usually do not work a lot during the summer. It is like those summer months are up to them to organize. So if we are not, like, as teachers, we do not control them. We do not say them like in the middle of the summer you have to submit something. We don't say that. We just, they have to work, and if they don't, then it will continue, like they will probably fail in some way in preparation. But yeah, so it is not like we control them. It is up to them to work, and if they enjoy the topic, they usually enjoy working as well.
Okay, thanks, Dasha. And one more question, possibly in relation to this.
So is the other comment in chat? I'm just happy that the project-based approach and the delivered assessment are moving into schools. In early education, these presented methods work to their full potential because it is the
Just
only
agree.
way. Yeah, I don't see a question there.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
And
Okay.
my final question to this, in relation to this topic, who is finally responsible for the final assessment, if I understood well?
So for final assessment, the consultants are responsible for final assessment. The school has been developing the scheme for assessing for over 30 years. It has been existing, and we, as a teacher, I get a sheet that says, like, in this year they are supposed to fulfill those goals in these areas, and it integrates like how they worked in the teams, how they approached the topic, how they cite the literature, how they worked with resources. What is the final product is usually not the main part of assessment. Like, the point is for them to be able to learn about how to review the literature, how to cite it, how to work in group, how to find resources, how to synthesize those information they found there. Do you have any question?
Okay, let's possibly continue to next.
Yeah. Okay. This was about education system. So we discussed about education system with example, and now we should go to innovations. We already started discussion on innovation because the gymnasium, the higher secondary school, but this school has also lower secondary schools, has also primary school. This private school is quite big, quite large, and they inspire Ministry of Education on planning innovations. And we now have 3 years big project from European Union, Next Generation European Union project solved by Ministry of Education, and where we try to make some innovations and apply it to some pilot schools. These details we don't have in English, so just this is a web page where you can look at the details. Which could be interesting for you, and use Google Translator to your language if you would like. Maybe just to say that we already told that the science is generally like people and nature, or man and nature, and so we have other subjects structured to some areas, but we try to do also some cross literacies, which in Slovakia we are not far enough, and we try. Some people try, but it's not easy to make a consensus in this way. But generally, reading and visual literacy is clearly too important literacy, and hard to persuade people that reading literacy is also a problem of physics education. Sometimes how to read instruction for experiment, how to read an article which is more like popularization, or some science fiction, how to read. Also digital literacy. Digital literacy I will use in technologies at the end of this presentation something. Financial literacy is not only mathematics, but mainly mathematics in my country. Yes, civic media and intercultural literacy. Yes, we try to foster such literacies, but I think we are very different in different schools. Environmental literacy, yes, we try to make some environmental literacy. I think we are quite good in this way. Here is a nice idea: if the nuclear power station is green energy or not green energy, but this is discussion for the whole world, not only in Slovakia. But in Slovakia we have quite high percentage of electric energy made by nuclear power stations, and I hope very safe nuclear and very clear, very green. Yes, a social emotional literacy, here we are very low compared to other countries. I hope in your countries in emotional and social literacy are much further and much better developed. Yes, we try to like innovations, introduce some special methods. One quite successful probably specialty which I couldn't imagine 10 years ago is it is called morning cycles, and it is that especially in lower and higher not primary and lower secondary school, so from the age of 6 to 15. Every day starts with 15 minutes meeting of pupils with some teacher, usually class teacher, and every day morning 15 minutes they have for one topic, any topic on, especially only school psychology, mainly social or emotional literacy, but any other literacy, every on a topic. So we have, besides the normal subjects, normal lessons are 45 minutes. Every day starts with 15 minutes like morning cycle, morning discussion. Of course, it is not easy for teachers who are not good in school psychology or emotional or socially higher, but it works well. And also teachers who not like these activities changes their attitudes within some months. So this is like I think that the one of better innovations we have within this innovation. Yes, in science we introduce quite structure which very like which I very like. I think I probably was one of the first people who proposed this structure, and this structure helps to decide which content to be taught at low secondary schools. We now have a lot of information which we could select for teaching, and it's hard to select which information we will use in compulsory teaching, compulsory education, and we used the big ideas prepared by Vin Harlen, professor from Britain, co-founder of PISA Tasting, very nice person, little bit more aged than me. I think she's about 89, but still very nice person. And the whole science we have structured to such like interaction forces, energy, earth, organism, ecosystem, evolution, and strategies and science process skills. So yes, the nature of nature and attitudes. So in this way we have structured this one. So how is science organized in your schools, or how is the content of your school subjects structured? Just I hope we have informed you now a little bit about the structure in science here, and maybe you can compare. Maybe in your mind now you are thinking about the structure of your subject structure. The structure is I think it's quite key idea how we structure everything, and about structures and all the other ways of thinking, other processes in our mind. We will continue, Daša, and probably each of you have heard something about Piaget, so we can continue with Piaget.
So mostly in Slovakia and probably in your country as well, education is viewed from constructivism point of view. So the knowledge is built from prior knowledge or prior experiences. But this theory, even though it might seem true, it has been built only on external observations of pupils. And now we inquire what happens if we look at people's brains in a way of biophysics, what is really happening in the brain when we learn. And some people are studying that, and they are using new technology as MRI to see what's happening in our brains when we learn. And Piaget's theory has been proved correct using these methods, and it has been shown that building new knowledge using prior knowledge or prior experiences and then rehearsing the knowledge helps build myelin sheath around the neurons, that then it can fasten the transmission of information, so we can decide and think faster if we rehearse something and think of that thing faster. So there's a neuroconstructivism that has been created over constructivism, and it adds up to constructivism, and basically it considers how new knowledge in the brain is constructed through neural networks. The other challenge of physics education in Slovakia has been reducing the content of physics education. So after the reform in 2010, 10 something, it has been reduced to half of it. So we end up with twice as less hours of physics education as we had before. So there's the question: what is more important to teach, Ohm's law or Newton's gravitational law? Neurosciences could help us maybe answer this question. For example, there's a study of Manson, Schumacher, and Just that they tried to find representations of neuro representations of physics concepts using MRI. To be clear, they studied that on physicists, adult physicists, not on pupils. And for example, they found that they are same neural networks for wavelength, acceleration, and dark matter and cosmology. So there's then hypothesis: if we strengthen these pathways, teaching second Newtonian law, does it help when teaching about dark matter? But this kind of research, is it ethical to do on pupils, since we teach pupils? Now maybe you can, it was really fastly announced, but could you maybe now think of some 3 things that you find interesting, 2 things that are relevant for your work, and 1 thing that you might study deeply, just to conclude what has been told, and then I will continue. Okay, so with this kind of research, there have been a theory built by Tokuhama and Spinoza, which is 5 pillars of the mind, that states that everything that one learns throughout the whole life could be divided into 5 pillars, which are symbols, patterns, order, categories, and relationships. Each of these pillars are then divided to sub-pillars. So for example, symbols are forms, shapes, and representations. So if I teach physics and I teach about second Newton law, it could be divided within 1 or several of these pillars. And it kind of brings a framework or structure for learning, new view on learning. Now I will shortly present each of a pillar within physics examples that we've identified. So if, for example, we can think of symbols as different representations of same concept. So if we take a concept of 4, we can show with a hand like number 4, or we can write the number 4, or we can use a dice that has 4 dots on it, or we can say a word 4. Another physics example is second Newton law. It has different representations, still meaning the same thing. So those are symbols. For example, patterns. Patterns could be some regularities or rules. For example, how to add 2 vectors, or how to find components of a vector. For order, it is, for example, some cycles or structures. So, for example, how our planets arranged from how far away from the sun they are, or, for example, pendulum, how energy changes its forms. For categories, it is usually dividing something into categories based on some qualities. So, for example, if we take wavelengths or waves and divide waves based on wavelengths, or Venn diagrams when we see shared common qualities and different qualities for a set of things. And relationships is basically any physics formula, and also could be some forces as a form of interaction, or how we measure things. So with those 5 pillars, we tried to apply it to physics education, and we tried to answer the question: how can this theory be applied when creating and designing learning materials, and how these learning materials will help students to learn something, to understand something, and how their ideas will shift when using these subjects. So here are some first results of using this theory. So we saw that pupils' ideas shift from alternative to normative state over time. Then we also compared pre-test and post-test, and then we see that this statistically significant shift of average score from pre-test to post-test. And then we compared two research groups with control group, and this comparison could not say any result because it was not in any way statistically significant. But after doing this research, we saw that it might be a good way to try to apply this theory and test it all over again. So that is what we are doing currently in my PhD study. So now maybe again try to think of 3 things you find interesting, 2 things that are relevant for your work, and 1 thing you will use or study deeper.
I think that it will be useful, at least for master students, because we are working on master thesis, some research connected in frame of master thesis, master work preparation. And in addition, some students are from physics area and or physics teachers. I hope it will be useful.
You think?
Yeah. Thank. Also, the idea of this part of presentation was to open in mind. I am sure everyone you have in mind the idea that it is quite important the way how we select something which is compulsory taught everyone in your country, everyone at the age of say 14 is taught the same something. Yeah, it could be quite strange idea that everyone is taught something and something else is not taught to anybody. Yes, this is the problem of national curricula sometimes. If in the curricula we have selected the concepts and sometimes also contexts of what we teach, and this could be in similar in physics and similar in history and similar in I don't know, in social sciences and the way how to look at the design of curricula is to design the foster ways in which the people think. Yes, the train the thinking methods. If we have some people involved in sport, and if we compare some football player and some volleyball players, these are completely different sports, but maybe 50% of their training, of their preparation is the same. They should move very fast, they should move very long, at least 60 minutes. Yeah. So the training of such in science we have science process skills, but it's hard to assess the results, and this is open question for many education systems. And if you will find some way to communicate, you as students, yes, no problem to ask, and also no problem to visit, especially Daša, no problem also visit me, but it's better to visit younger people, perspective people, and we have offering at Comenius University both the PhD study and also postdoc stay, and also Erasmus within Europe. This is Erasmus visit. So if you will find a way how to come here for a week, for a month, maybe for a year, maybe for 2 years, we are open for discussion. Yeah, okay. So Dasha will go because she has some duties, and so Dasha,
Thank
we
you
have
very
question.
much.
No, we have answered question. Yes.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you, and hopefully we will stay in touch. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Daša.
Okay. And so we continue with technologies. In the introduction, you had in your subject is called education systems and so on, and technologies. And as I told already, I'm in physics science education, and I will say something in about 15 minutes in technologies used in science, technology, and mathematics education, STEM education, to enhance students' ability to reason, to be independent learners. This is a slide from a web of one educational company from the Netherlands. And I just we can look at the page of this company. So maybe I will start with some equipment to be used in the science education. In Slovakia, we quite often discuss in physics, chemistry, biology, science, environmental education, how we select or which sort of technology to be used. And sometimes we say that we prefer so-called kitchen experiment with low-cost items, experiments with items normally used in homes. This is one possibility. Another possibility is select high technology equipment which is well technically developed. Sometimes people can buy experiments or replics of experiments which have some similarity with experiments for Nobel Prizes from some 10, 20, 30 years ago. I think no problem with one, also no problem with the second, but if we would like to develop science process skills, if we try to people, to students, allow them to be active, we are trying to offer them tools, not the high-tech technology, which will give very easy, very complicated result, but give them a tool, give them some tools. And for physics, for example, such tools is thermometer, for example. But thermometer, we can use a thermometer and we can measure a temperature. But if we would like to measure a temperature, it is okay. We can buy a temperature sensor for 1-2 euros, maybe 5 euros, the same as we use in kitchen or in home for measuring the temperature outside the window. But sometimes we would like to have to measure the temperature in some experiment and directly have the measured data in our computer. So we can say we can use a sensor of temperature, which is used, which we have some temperature sensors, and some of them are very cheap, some of them are a little bit more expensive, and the difference is in the precision, in the way, how fast it reacts to the change of temperature, maybe how can we set the values or calibrate the values. And if the students at the age of 12, 13, 14 can use such a temperature sensor connected to computer, they very fast go to measuring other quantities. So no problem to measure other quantities. So for example, acceleration, how fast the wind is moving, electric current, for chemistry, conductivity of a solution, or even in the gas, concentration of carbon dioxide on electric charge. For physics, it's important force sensors. So force sensor is usually among the first sensors we introduce in lower secondary school at the age of about 12, 13, 14. And the way we get the value of the force, of the temperature, of the electric current to the computer, it's not important for us now. Some teachers prefer wireless sensors, which can go via Bluetooth communication to computer, so they can move around the class, around the laboratory, and wirelessly get the values to the computer. I prefer the wired, so USB cable, because especially for younger students, it is clearly seen that the computer is measuring something from a temperature, force, CO2, any sensors, which is directly visible, connected to the computer. And yes, we have how to get the sensor, how to get to the computer. It is possible two ways, just directly. We have some USB sensors or wireless sensors directly to computer, but we usually more prefer via interface, which is some technology, something to which we can connect sensors, and this we connect to computer and work with this like very powerful tool for measuring what we need. Other of measuring possibilities, we have also another possibilities. Another requirements even we have in science education of technology. So the software, we can say something about software in the computer, and yes, the computer, any system we can use for this computer. And I am, yes, here is some features of the software. Yes. Yes. Yes, inquiry-based tools may be here. Yeah. So we have told something about data logging, which is working with sensors. We can use even the microphone installed in any device, in computer, for measuring sound. We also can control other items, electric items, by computer. Yes, we can measure a spectrometer. We can use data video, so we can measure from video. If the pupils make a video of some moving, for example, moving cyclist, and they can use this video from taking data about position and time, and for example explore how the cyclist or the part of cycle moves. Also they can analyze photo, data image, and what is the mostly discussed maybe more than 10, maybe 15 years is modeling as a part of something between mathematics and physics or other sciences education. In technology, in reality, in technology, scientists or engineers prepare a model, mathematical model and computer model of something which they would like explore. And in my education system, but I think in most of education system is in informatics or programming is not well developed idea to make models of real something what is sometimes real model, make models by pupils themselves. And in this technology we have quite good experience that pupils at the age 13, 14 can make mathematical models of some real states, in reality, and it is based very easy by very simple mathematics formulas and quite nice visibly. So this is one part, and probably we can look at the software itself. Here is it, not more than 5 minutes. So author, yes, maybe language better. Yes, English, Czech and other languages. If you would like to translate this software to your language, yes, it takes some time, but it's no problem. Your language is not here, so if you will contact me or contact colleagues in the Netherlands, you can discuss the possibility to translate it if you would like to implement in your schools. Yes, and here are the, yes, so I will switch to English. Yes, so measurement, control, data video, data image, modeling. Yes, here are activity results from my history. Yes, here are some tutorials. I have, for example, tutorials in English in modeling, maybe here, maybe here. Yes, this is the model which I told, very easy model, which I look what is behind this small square. Just few ideas, few informations. So even the younger pupils can do with this system and can model quite interesting things. And maybe I will look also the models we can also animate. So we can make, or pupils can make even sort of applets. So here is the model. Here is the model, not so complicated as it seemed to be. And here is the animation of pendulum, yes. So there's animation with forces and so on. Okay, so we have not more than 15 minutes. so I will close.
Okay, it's really nice. I think this is a good platform in general in Netherlands, and also it includes not only let's say science subjects, science areas like biology, chemistry, physics, but also primary school. One module is dedicated for primary school, as I see, and also for engineering and mathematics. It's really quite good, and mainly let's say my interest also it's primary school level, because for primary school students it's also important. And okay, students see some obviously website address, and it will be possible to find more information and to be more familiar with this platform. It's really useful. And now it's we have some time for possible questions. I encourage students to give some questions for our presenter, for Peter. At least I have one question, not only one, but just as start. Possible I also put it to chat for easy understanding. If you reading, at least for us, reading some information about or some discourse in relation to education in Slovakia, in Slovak Republic. For example, you can find not interesting but controversial statement that the Slovak education system is failing students or pupils. And how would you comment on this?
Yeah, it's how to start. Maybe you know that similarly as in your country, some about 30 years ago or 35 years ago, the political system has changed, and before 1989 we have very quite strict on written quite strict education system. Every pupil at the age for example in the grade, in the 7th grade in September, every person, every pupil has been taught, has been learned the same, from the same textbooks, from the same methodology. And after political changes, this was opened, and it was going in very various ways in different schools. And also at the government, at the Ministry of Education, we have very many ministries over this few 35 years, not too much. So the ministry was quite changed very often. And even if the Europe would like to offer quite high budget for education, not always the budget was spent in a good forward way. And the last my sentence can be told by many people, and it is in education it clearly not answered the question what is the correct way of education. And I quite like this international possibility to discuss that the way of the direction of the way of education system. It's not easy to decide, because every person to be school is compulsory. And yes, if you would like to go to any other social system, you have much wider freedom than as in school. Yeah, in Bratislava we have many schools, many lower secondary schools, so the parent can decide to which school they will go. Some of them are private, most of them is state, so it's free of charge. But not always is easy to put the child to the best school, because for parents it's not easy to decide which school is the best. Sometimes is based the idea of the best school is solved on likes on Facebook or something like this, which is not always the same as experts will say. So I think the Slovak education systems is failing pupils. Many people can imagine that the education system could be much better. I also think that the education system could be much better, even if I am quite often quite deep involved in some parts of development of our education system. But it is always a discussion, never-ending discussion. And yes, especially in small education systems like in Slovakia, we are 5 million people, so very small language, very small education system, and the changes sometimes decided by 1, 2, 3 persons or small teams quite deeply can change the direction the educational system is moving. Yeah.
Okay, Peter, about teacher shortage, because this question.
Yeah. We have that a shortage of teachers. This is another topic. One would I say is the salary. Salary is important. To be a teacher is a normal work, normal job, which should be normally paid. And when I was a young secondary school teacher, we usually compare to the doctors, to the medicine doctors. Teacher and doctor in medicine, the difference in salary was only in the way that the medical doctors should work in night or during the weekend, so they had a little bit more, a little bit higher salaries. Now it's a very wide difference, and the salaries of teachers in Slovakia is the lowest in Europe. Really is lowest in Europe. Maybe in Bulgaria is similar, but in every other countries, even if they compare it with prices of basic prices, so the salaries are very low, and so especially in towns, in bigger towns. We don't have enough teachers, and then the headmaster try to involve as a teachers also people without qualification, which is possible if they don't have a qualified teacher, so they can take any person with with university or technology university education. So economic engineers or technical engineers can teach mathematics or physics. So this is probably, I'm not sure if this is a complete answer to your question, but probably in this way we have this way of problems.
Okay, Peter, thanks. And one more question, possible, just for interest. Sorry, it's a little bit with negative connotation, but that Slovakia education system remains weak and with many shortcomings. For example, in relation to investment in education sector, it remains well below OECD. And European Union average. Is it true?
Yeah, it is true. The investment to education is very low. and also the budget from European Union focused to rising education is not to used in a one straightforward way, because we quite often change the political government and also the Ministry of Education, that the people who are deciding which is the correct way of rising the quality of education is often changing. Yes, sometimes we say that we need more lessons of history because of some history of communication between Slovakia and Hungary, for example. The same for now problems in Russia. Yeah, I think in Russia are problems, and the Ukraine is has problems with this, and the whole world. So if this should be as a compulsory topic in education, maybe, but also the science education is important to be better than, for example, in China. If we discuss about some technology everywhere, even in the cars, yes, so Volvo cars are China cars, even if it's sign that it's Scandinavia produced. So it is problem how we can add to the Europe rising of quality of Europe. It is still discussed, and I think the answer is mainly in international cooperation discussion. I am quite deeply working with International Baccalaureate Organization, IBO. I think in your country, your town also are some schools. Some of them are mainly for children from other countries, from America or from Britain, but we have also in Bratislava interbaccalaureate schools which are paid by government, and we try through the interbaccalaureate experience implement something also to Slovakian system, because it's hard to implement some things from international, because the education is also a culture and history of education, and very we cannot change education system by one rule made by a ministry, even by one law, because we have many teachers, experienced teachers, who keep their previous thinking. So it is quite not easy. Yes, children's family and socioeconomic background. Yes, socioeconomic background. This we try to focus on this. Many governments. So this is one positive way, that the focus on families or children from low socioeconomic background is systematically good investment, and we have a lot of problems with some gates. I'm not sure if this is the best word, but some small areas with people with very low socioeconomic background, with people who doesn't work even and have a very small income, just like social income, and we try to save the children. And even we have quite good experience, but this is experience especially imported, especially from Czech Republic. So some years ago, we used to be Czech and Slovak Republic together, and so we still quite well communicate with colleagues from Czech Republic, and they are very far in saving such children. Yeah, I hope I have answered.
Thank you, Peter. Time, as usual, is running quite fast, and it's the biggest enemy. It's approximately 1 minute left. If somebody has last question, would be good. If not, we need to finalize this lecture, and I hope that it was at some extent obviously useful and interesting, and at least it consists from 3 parts: didactically correct about education system, shortly about innovations, and about technology package that we can observe later on, and to discover possible some useful things. Okay, if somebody has some comments or something additional we can express, but if not, thanks once again for Daša. She left earlier, and for you, Peter, keep well, keep safe, and possible we will meet again somewhere in the near future.
Thank all of you. Thank for invitation. It was pleasure to me be such easy in your country. So see you and keep safe. See?
Yeah. Bye for now.